You say you want to transform your life, then get to work. Simple as that. That's the real secret. No shortcuts, no hacks, no magic formulas, no gurus, no app that's going to do it for you. No perfect morning routine can save you if you refuse to put in the effort. You can spend hours writing down your goals, reading motivational quotes, picturing success in your mind, asking the universe for a sign. But none of that matters if you don't take action. If your feet don't move, your life doesn't either. People talk too much. They announce their dreams loudly but move quietly, or worse, not at all. They want greatness, but they avoid the sweat. They crave the spotlight but run from the grind. They want the perfect body, the money, the freedom, the legacy. Yet they struggle just to wake up on time. They scroll. They watch. They admire others doing the work. They comment on the hustle. But when it's their turn to step up, they vanish. That's where discipline separates people. Motivation comes and goes. It's easy. It's temporary. Discipline is different. Discipline is a choice. The people who actually win, the ones who build themselves from nothing, they're not more talented, they're not luckier, they're not special, they just keep going longer than everyone else. They stay quiet, they show up, and they do the work. When nobody's watching, when it feels terrible, when they're exhausted, when they're broke, when their mind is heavy, when everything inside them is telling them to quit, they still keep going. Do you realize how rare that is? Most people never reach where they could, not because they lack ability, but because they refuse to push. Effort scares them. Discomfort feels like a threat. They'd rather protect their ego than risk looking foolish trying. They choose safety over growth. They'd rather pretend than struggle to become something real. So hear this clearly. Get to work. Stop waiting for the right time. It's not coming. Stop hiding behind excuses. You're not too old. You're not too young. You're not too busy or too broke. You're just not fully committed yet. You keep treating your potential like it's something optional, like a toy you can pick up later. But that fire inside you, the one telling you there's more, it doesn't disappear. It fades, it rots, it turns into regret. And one day, you'll look back and realize how many chances you let slip. Every moment you hesitated, every door you didn't walk through, every time you held back and lost. The truth. The world doesn't owe you direction. It doesn't owe you clarity or opportunity. If you want a door, you build one yourself. And that door is built through repetition, pain, patience, and consistency. Not talking, not wishing, not good vibes, just work. You want to change your body? Then eat right and train hard. No shortcuts. Nobody else can do your reps for you. You want more money? Learn something valuable. Build something useful. Show up even when you don't feel like it. You want peace? Earn it. Clean up your life. Fix what's broken. Set boundaries. Face yourself honestly and take responsibility. You don't get to complain about results you never worked for. You don't get to cry about outcomes when you avoided the process. Because in the end, the world rewards one thing: execution. Not ideas, not intentions, not inspiration. Execution. So the real question is, can you keep going when it's boring, when it's tough, when it feels unfair, lonely, and heavy? You can talk about purpose all day, but if your habits don't reflect it, it's just noise. So ask yourself, when you wake up, are you ready to fight for your life? Or are you hitting snooze, hoping tomorrow magically feels better? You don't need another life coach. You need structure, a plan, a system you actually follow. Grab a notebook, use a calendar, stand in front of a mirror and get honest with yourself. What do you really want? And more importantly, what are you willing to sacrifice for it? How many late nights can you handle? How many weekends are you ready to give up? How many distractions, habits, or even people are you prepared to walk away from to become who you're meant to be? Because that version of you already exists. It's there. It's just buried under comfort, fear, laziness, and constant distraction. And the only way to bring that version out is through relentless daily effort. That means waking up earlier, turning off the noise, cutting out what drains you, whether it's junk habits, toxic environments, or the wrong crowd. It means studying when your brain feels fried, training when your body aches, doing exactly what you promised yourself, even when every part of you is begging for a break. No one is coming to rescue you. Not your family, not your partner, not your boss, not your audience. It's on you. It always has been. You either create the life you want or you accept the one handed to you. There's no comfortable middle ground. Staying still doesn't keep you safe. It slowly destroys you. The moment you stop growing, you start declining. That's not motivation. That's reality. You either evolve or you fade. And the gap between who you are and who you could become, it's built through effort, through sweat, through showing up again and again. You think the people at the top are smarter, more gifted? No, they're just more obsessed with not quitting. They treat every single day like it counts, every rep, every call, every page, every step. While others sleep, they build. While others blame, they take ownership. While others complain, they win. So get to work and don't do it for attention. Don't do it for approval. Don't do it to prove someone wrong. Do it because you owe yourself more than what you've been settling for. Do it because you want to look in the mirror and feel proud. I do it because you don't want to reach the end of your life wondering what could have happened if you had just stayed consistent for once. It's not going to be easy. There will be pain. There will be sacrifices. Some days you'll feel like tearing everything down and walking away. You'll face setbacks. Doubt will creep in. You'll question everything. But if you keep pushing through all of that, you earn something powerful, something nobody can take from you, self-respect. So keep working. Even when nobody notices, even when it's quiet, cold, and uncomfortable, even when it feels like the world has moved on without you. Why? Because you gave your word to yourself, and you're not the kind of person who breaks it just because no one is watching. If your goals rely on hype, you've already lost. Hype fades. It disappears. What stays is the routine, the early mornings, the late nights, the discipline, the sacrifices, the focus. You keep going until the work becomes part of who you are, until stopping feels unnatural, until quitting feels like betraying yourself. We live in a world that rewards noise but respects consistency. The loud ones might get attention, but it's the quiet ones, the ones building in silence, who actually go the distance. That's real strength. The kind that doesn't need validation. The kind that lets results speak instead of words. And don't fool yourself into thinking it's not meant for you just because it's hard. It's hard because it's meant to be earned. That's what gives it value. That's what makes it real. If it came easy, you wouldn't respect it. If it was handed to you, you'd drop it the moment things got uncomfortable. Pain isn't punishment. It's part of the process. It's the entry fee. Struggle is expected. Doubt is normal. Falling is part of it. The only thing you're not allowed to do is quit. You don't stop because it hurts. You stop when it's done. Let people doubt you. Let them laugh. Let them misunderstand you. Just don't let them be right. There's something inside you that no one sees yet. Not fully. But if you keep showing up day after day, that version of you will eventually break through. Not instantly, not overnight, but it will happen. And when it does, people will act like they believed in you all along. They'll say, "I knew you'd make it." But the truth is, they didn't. You did. And that's all that ever mattered. This is about taking full control of your life, not borrowing it from other people's opinions, not shaping it around trends, comfort, or validation. This is about becoming someone undeniable, and the only way to reach that level is to outlast everyone who assumed you wouldn't. So keep showing up. It won't always be fair. You'll watch lazy people get ahead. You'll see dishonest people win. You'll see others talk their way into places you worked hard to reach and still get overlooked. Yeah, it'll frustrate you. Good. Use that. Channel that anger. Let it fuel the days when you don't feel like doing anything. Let it push you to finish chapters in your life that no one expected you to complete. You want freedom. Discipline is the price. You want peace? Look at your habits. You want confidence? Stack small wins every day. You want clarity? Sit in your chaos and fight your way through it. So get to work. There's no mentor coming to carry you, no podcast that can do the reps for you, no book that will magically build your business, no quote that will fix your life. At the end of it all, everything comes down to one thing: action. Daily, repetitive, often boring action. And if you can learn to embrace that, if you can fall in love with the parts nobody talks about, you'll build something that can't be taken from you. There will be days you question everything. Days where you wonder if you're wasting your time. Days where it feels like nothing is working, like all your effort is going nowhere. That's normal. That's resistance. That's the wall. And it doesn't show up because you're failing. It shows up because you're growing, because you're stepping away from average, and average always tries to pull you back. You have to fight through that fog. You have to become your own rescue. No one owes you support. No one owes you understanding. If you get it, great, but don't depend on it. You have to be the one who says, "I'm not done yet." When your body wants rest, when your mind wants comfort, when everything in you wants to quit, you say, "Not yet." That's how you win. Here's the truth most people avoid hearing. Almost everyone quits. Not because they're incapable, but because they don't stick with it long enough. Not because they lack talent, but because they lack consistency. They chase a goal for a couple of weeks, don't see results, and give up. They jump from one plan to another, one idea to the next, always searching for an easier way instead of committing to one path. But you're not built for that. You don't need guarantees. You don't need permission. You don't need to see the entire staircase ahead. You just need to take the next step every single day. So get to work when you're exhausted, when you're broke, when you feel alone, when you're confused, when your heart is heavy, when nothing makes sense, you keep going anyway, because every day you show up, you're casting a vote for the person you're becoming, and every time you don't, you're choosing to stay the same. Don't let that older version of you win. Don't let comfort take control of your future. You've got one life, one shot. Don't waste it talking. Don't waste it waiting. Don't waste it trying to please people who aren't even paying attention. You weren't made to live small. You weren't meant to play it safe. You weren't built just to be liked. You're here to build something real, something strong, something that lasts. You want respect? Earn it. You want to rewrite your story? Earn it. Be the one in your family who breaks the pattern. Be the one who doesn't fold under pressure. Stand up and do the work. You can pray. You can cry. You can vent your frustration. But if your actions don't match your goals, it's all just noise. Everyone has potential. That's not special. What matters is pressure. Effort applied daily. Because potential without action is just imagination. The difference between those who talk and those who succeed? Movement. Relentless forward motion, no matter how slow, no matter how hard. And yes, it's going to hurt. It's supposed to. That's how you grow. You think champions are born different? They're not. They struggle. They doubt. They fail. They break down in silence. But the next day, they get back up and go again, over and over, until the fight becomes part of who they are, until the pain turns into fuel, until discipline becomes freedom. There will be people around you who tell you to slow down. They'll say you're doing too much, that you're too intense, that you should enjoy life more. But understand this. Most people's idea of enjoying life is slowly wasting it with distractions. They don't want you to level up because your growth reminds them of their own inaction. They'll smile in your face while planting doubt in your mind. They'll support you just enough while secretly hoping you quit. That's why you stay sharp. You keep building quietly. You don't broadcast every move. You don't announce every win. You don't look for approval. You just execute. When things go wrong, you don't fall apart. When things go right, you don't get loud. You stay steady, grounded, focused. You move like someone who has nothing to prove but everything to become. And be honest with yourself. Don't call it grinding if you're barely trying. Don't say you want it if your actions say otherwise. Every missed session, every excuse, every wasted hour, you're signaling that you're not ready. So don't be surprised when the results don't show up. Get to work, and not just the visible stuff, the highlights, the posts, the moments people see. I'm talking about the invisible work, the thoughts you train, the discipline you build in private, the standards you hold when nobody's watching. That's where real strength is built. That's the foundation that doesn't break under pressure. You need to create a mindset so strong that no external chaos can shake it. That's why the work matters. Not for attention, not for validation, not for revenge, but because it's the only way you can respect yourself when everything goes quiet. There's no shortcut here, no instant transformation, no overnight success story. You don't wake up one day as a different person. You build it slowly, repeatedly, painfully, one rep, one decision, one step at a time. Most people quit early because they expected it to feel good all the way through. They thought it would be fast, easy, exciting. They didn't expect the long stretches where nothing clicks, where you give everything and still get no recognition. That's where most people give up, but not you. You stay in that silence and keep going. You train while they doubt. You study while they sleep. You keep pushing while they scroll. And one day, it will click. Not because of luck, but because you earned it. And when that moment finally comes, when everything starts to align, when the results show up, when the breakthrough happens, you won't even be surprised because you'll know it wasn't luck. You built it. And when people say you've changed, you'll look them in the eye and say, "Of course I did. I got tired of staying the same. I got tired of feeling stuck. I got tired of lying to myself." So you showed up again and again. Now you don't hesitate. You don't fold. You don't beg. You build. You don't need perfection. You need consistency. You don't need to be the loudest person in the room. You need the strongest work ethic, the sharpest mindset. You walk like someone who's been tested, someone who's been through fire and came out stronger. The power to change your life, it's already in your hands. Not your bosses, not your parents, not your past, yours. You decide how today ends. You decide whether you move forward or stay stuck. You choose whether you become an example people follow or a warning they remember. So if you're sitting there wondering where to begin, start now. Start in silence. Start with fear. Start with doubt. Start messy. Start unsure. Start uncomfortable. Just start. And once you begin, don't stop. Not when it hurts. Not when it's boring. Not when it feels impossible. Not when people laugh. You keep going until you don't recognize the person you used to be. That's the real reward. You become someone who doesn't break promises to themselves. Someone who doesn't hide behind excuses. Someone focused, grounded, and unshakable. You don't just do the work anymore. You become it. Bye-bye. See you in next video.